Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello. Welcome to our next episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. Today, I am bringing to you guys an awesome expert who is got such a brilliant mind and takes a very interesting approach to how to behave in business. So today, I am bringing to you best-selling author Melissa Van Oss. Hey, how are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks for having me, Gab.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me. I'm excited to share all about your expertise with our audience and what it is that you bring that's very interesting and unique. So let's go ahead and have you jump in and share with us about your expertise.
So, what would you say if I told you that there was more to meets the eye in seduction than just that one room in the house? Yes, it's absolutely true. I say the word seduction, you probably go a few different avenues, most of which are not in the business world. So I help people bring the art of seduction, specifically social seduction, from the boardroom to the bedroom and vice versa, so that we can use it to our advantage in everyday business.
And I know you and I have talked a few times, and I just want to put this out there right away. You've told me that you will bring this up, and then all of a sudden people start wanting to talk to you about sex and intimacy, and that's not what you talk about. You talk about all the other pieces, right? Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. So yes, of course, I can get into the sizzle and all the spark in the bedroom, but there's a lot of people doing that, right? And so for me, the pursuit of seduction, the art of seduction, has always been more of an intellectual perspective. So with that said, it all starts with the mindset. And with anything successful in life, right, we need the right mindset to get us started. And the art of seduction is no different. So when you master the idea of mindset, confidence, being able to create like triangles of desire, like for your product, for example, power of the wait list, power of testimonial, things like that, time and space, it really opens it up to a lot more than just say, hey, let's go in there, and
Right.
take care of some stuff, right?
I mean, if we really think about it, sales and creating a space that the other person wants to buy from us is a process of seduction. It's just not bedroom seduction. It's all
Right.
how
It's all persuasion.
Exactly.
And that's the thing I really tell people the most, is that when you look at it from a game of psychology and understanding human nature, and that it's like seduction equals persuasion instead of seduction always equals, sex, then we can obviously broaden it, and to me, it's like looking at a great piece of art or something, and just like dwindling it down to like, oh, those are bright colors on that canvas. Cool. You know what I mean? And you take for granted the painstaking things that an artist goes through to create this magnificent work, right?
Exactly. So, Melissa, what was it that drew you down the path? I know I've heard you talk about your background, I think, in corporate, and there was an interesting twist in your own personal story that had you go in this direction.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where the more you get out in the world and you start learning things, the more it takes you down these rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I first started out, I was outside sales, and a lot of my functions I've had, it's always been people related, right? So being memorable to people, being able to get them to give me a sales call, close the deal and things like that. And when I actually picked up a book about the art of seduction and started reading it and realized again, like it's like psychology, that it like made my mind explode, and I started to think back to all those times where, like, I think as women, sometimes we diminish like our actual skills and abilities. And I had always just thought, well, I'm pretty good at like sales and the businesses and the different companies I've worked for, because I'm semi-attractive, like not to toot my own horn, but like they must like me. I think I'm kind of like a cute girl, not a lot of sales girls, out here, doing these kind of businesses, and things. So when I started reading principles, for example, I had a client who it took me 18 months to get in to see him, and he had a bad experience with the company. And I just said, well, I work with everyone in your building, so you're going to see me anyway. So can I just say hi time to time? Like, I won't bother you, but I want to, prove myself. So eventually it took 18 months. And I said, I just want you to meet me, try me out on one thing. And then if you like me, great, otherwise we'll just make friends. And the end of that meeting, he loved me and he wanted to buy everything I showed him. But I said, no, we're doing one thing today. And he was very shocked because, right, it took me 18 months and most salespeople, right, be chomping at the bit for the named partner of the law firm having a meeting with them. There's lazy $5,000 of clothes on the table. Just wanted to custom clothing. And I said, no, we didn't agree to that. This is what I promised, and this is what we're going to do. And as a result, that increased my value to him because, right, I was a greedy salesperson. I did prove what I was going to do. I did a great job. And then I did what no one would do, which was like, no, we're not going to do but one thing. So that created more desire for him. And then he became my best client, who would literally be walking his arm around me. Oh, this is the person who dresses me. You have to talk to her. So no more cold calling, right? From just doing one technique of doing what you say you're going to do and knowing when to pause, right? And delay satisfaction.
Yeah, absolutely. So Melissa, I want to ask you about your influence. You mentioned a book earlier, and before we were talking, you said that was a really big influence on you, but then you also said there's another book recently that has had a huge impact on you. Will you share about that with us?
Originally, I would say my original answer to that has been for many years, The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. I actually, when I would do workshops, pre-COVID world, right, face-to-face life, I would carry it with me, and it's like, this is my Bible. My war-torn, you see the post-its, you see the highlights, you see the cards, you see the flags, everything, because this book is, like I said, is an intellectual pursuit. And most people that have seen it or read it, it's bestseller for 100 years, probably. Like it's a 400, 500 page book, right? With the super small print, the great resources and references. So it's all about archetyping, right? And I think archetyping is really helpful for all of us, because when we're able to know where we're going inward with ourselves, right? And know where we're coming from, what makes us hit the buy button, what makes us emotional, and those things, then when we interact with others, we can start to take our emotions, our personal emotions out of it, and we can really focus on that person. Yeah. And the quicker we're able to figure out kind of who's sitting across from us, then we're able to, communicate in a way that's going to be a win-win. So that book was really enlightening to be like, wow, there's this archetype. And I was like, oh, I'm some of this and some of that. And I know this person, they're this, right? And it's fun because I'm a nerd. So I like to have games, right? I'll be going out in the world, be this is this person and this person. Yeah. And they're going to react this way in this situation. So I would literally do social experiments after reading that book in my own life to try out the principles. And after doing that many times and they worked, I'm like, these are probably universal ideas. So I'd get friends and my sisters and different people to also try them out. Same thing. Now, they would always ask, why do you want me to do that? If this happens, do this, and they're like, why do you want me to do that? I'm like, I can't tell you. Just tell me what happens. And, I look at myself as kind of like a little scientist. So I'm like, I can't tell the lab rats the result, right? Or my experiment will be messed up. So I said, just don't worry about it. And sure enough, universal principles. So some of those pieces and parts led me to keep trying them, which led me to doing workshops, which ultimately created the platform behind the concepts with the books and things like that. So that's been just something that's been in my blood for many, many years. And then fast forward, and I was introduced to Dawson Church's work. And he is the just lovely gentleman who is larger than life, has infectious laugh and energy, and he wrote Mind to Matter and Bliss Brain. Since I'm all about mindset, it was a great refresher from a new kind of generation, non-Napoleon and Proctor and these type of folks that's still putting great work out there. And he's all about the meditative principles of quieting the mind, going inward so that we can access those higher consciousness pieces, which of course help with creativity, and all the things that we need to be successful in business, right?
Absolutely. Hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them. You've all heard and you know how powerful it is to send thank you cards, notes of appreciation, and gifts that build and maintain relationships. However, writing and sending generic impersonal greetings and gifts one by one just is so overwhelming and takes so much time. Not to mention, these days, who wants to deal with lines at the post office, running out of stamps, or having to print stamps yourself? And then there's the embarrassment of missing an important date altogether. Yikes. So what can you do? If you go to marketyourbiz.guru, you will be able to get help with your greetings and gifts that are printed, stamped, stuffed, and mailed automatically for you. Make sure that you tell them Gabriella sent you.
It's time to take a vacation from processed foods. The ultimate lifestyle transformation kit will upgrade the way you look, feel, and perform, or will give you your money back, guaranteed. By taking a vacation from processed foods, you will detoxify your organs, cleanse your cells, and remove chemicals from your gut. And once you begin to nourish your cells and balance your hormones, you may notice increased energy, lower stress, deeper sleep, heightened mental clarity, improved digestion, and sexy lean muscle. Any of that sound interesting to you? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You already eat every day, and what you eat really matters. This is your chance to upgrade your food, upgrade your health, and upgrade your life.
So one of the questions I ask our interviewees, and I think it's really important because many of the people in our audience wind up pivoting careers. We have people who are just starting out. And a lot of times, if we could go back to our younger self or ourself when we were changing careers and had a piece of advice that would help us, I like to ask our interviewees to share what they think that they would say.
So I would say to my younger self, or anyone younger selves than I, is that one of the most important things that we can really use to our advantage, no matter what our background is. I've always kept the mindset of keeping things open to the experience, the adventure, being able to jump outside my comfort zone, right? Like I created an alter ego to host the private events because I knew myself as the small town girl could not do that, right? I'm in DC. It's like a whole thing. Like I can't. So being able to use your own mind, principles, and powers, and even maybe if it means adopting an alter ego, to feel more confident, the more we can control the mind and get clear what we want, that brings us confidence, right? And to me, it's like mindset and confidence are so important that if one is deterring, you can sometimes build the other one back up, right? So we could have a confident moment if our mindset was dwindling a little bit before, and then we close the deal, we'll go back up, right? And get our vibration back up. But the two of them need to work together so that we can be at our highest vibration, so that we can attract the success that we're looking for, be introduced to the people we need to, right? Collaborate, fill in the blanks, right? So to me, if you don't have that, it's a problem.
That's awesome. So throughout this whole conversation, you've already been giving tons of advice. So I hope you guys who are watching and listening have been paying attention. And I'm going to ask you now if you have any other advice that you would like to share with our audience that they could go take action on right now.
I know that things right now can, if you look at social media, TV, what's happening in the world, it's kind of bleak. It's a little dark sometimes, definitely gray area. People are very black and white, it seems, with things. And so I just like to tell people to feel free, right? And don't apologize for injecting color and life and sparkle and childlike sense of humor, and laughter into your day, right? Because things are too serious. And the more we get the seriousness all the time on us, the more we have to protect, our internal child and those things, which will help us bounce back when things are hard. Be energy and light to someone else. And if worst case, just put these on and start to try it, right? So get your glasses and change your perspective.
On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hello, I'm Dr. Anna Maria Bliven, founder and CEO of Prosperity Pathways, LLC. We get people their jobs of their dreams. We help them start a business or organization, and we even help them along their career pathway. It gives me great pleasure to bring to your attention and honor the hero of the moment, Onward and Upward. Onward and Upward does everything in its power to help those that are homeless, without jobs, without the use of their own computer, get back on their feet. They help people learn what it is that they need to do to get an online job, to get an on-site job. So Onward and Upward is giving a hand up to those that need it. Their website, onwardupwardinc.org. Get in touch with them if you need their help or if you would like to support them. Again, this is Dr. Anna Maria Bliven, founder and CEO of Prosperity Pathways, wishing you a blessed day.
So I know that you have tons and tons more to share, and I know you've written several books as well. Can you share with our audience how they can reach out to you, and also tell us about your books? I know we can find them on Amazon.
Yes, you can find them on Amazon. If you type my name in, you'll find them pop right up for you. And the books are the series Seduction as a Second Language. And that's just my take on what we've sort of been talking about today, where it's not just seduction is not just sex and only bedroom related, but it's really like a mindset. It's an intellectual pursuit. Sort of my Alice in Wonderland adventures are in there as well as we track through. And then we look at what I call the hierarchy of seduction, which are some of the few principles we were talking about today that you can use in interpersonal and business, with the idea being at the end of all this, right, is that you awaken your aura of seduction. And that's really like that it factor, right? You feel it when people have it, right? It's not like a beauty contest. It's just that energy, right? And so when you progress through the books, do my coaching program or work with me directly, for example, then we walk through that whole process and you can just start to implement it immediately, which is amazing.
And speaking of that, we can find you on social media and by email, right? And you guys, the links for the books will be down below. Melissa's email address, as well as the links to her social media, will be down below. How can we find you on social media?
Sure. So you can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook as Melissa Vanos. I'm at Seductrix School on Twitter. And then my email is creativeblisssllc@yahoo.com.
Awesome. And we are going to, so all of that will be in the show notes and in the description down below, so you can reach out to Melissa. And then also there will be a link that you can get a checklist, I think it is. Will you share that with us?
Sure. So I've created a checklist that is all about implementing the art of social seduction into your daily life. So I kind of broke it down into various quadrants of our life pieces that we do throughout the day, with the idea being that we just kind of get used to creating a ritual of these practices that are help us to enhance our skills with the social seduction, as well as just start to, again, elevate that mindset and keep building our confidence as we go.
Awesome. So you guys, click the link, get your copy of the checklist, pick up Melissa's book, and make sure you click the subscribe button. Don't forget to select the reminder so you get to find out when our next episode is airing. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.